So tell me, growing up Latina, of course, I'm not Latina, but I hear a lot about how machismo in the household influences growing up.
Yes.
So I guess, how did machismo in your household influence the family relationships?
I mean, machismo runs everything in Latino
Yeah.
households, and it was very frustrating as a kid because even though I was a snitch and like I wasn't down to do anything bad, I also didn't understand the logic of like the boys can do whatever they want, but the girls can't. I would like argue with my dad like when I was like 7 years old. That's when I I was a little feminist without even knowing what that was.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand the logic of like the boys can do whatever and the boys can talk however and the boys can hang out all night and they can do whatever they want, but you can't. I didn't understand that, it just so that was really frustrating as a kid because I was like, look, I don't even want to go out, but like, how dare you say that we can't spend the night at our friend's house, but the boys can?
Yeah.
Like, why is that allowed? That's kind of weird,
Yeah.
And that was one of those like that was like the first signs of me being like, what the hell is going on here? And then I don't know if you've ever heard me burp. I'm sure you have. I burp really.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
actually, I
really,
remember.
Yeah, I fucking burp really fucking loud, and it all started
Good for you.
because my dad hated it. He hated it. Que cochina, you're disgusting. And ladies aren't supposed to. And I'd be like, well, I'm not a lady. I'm a little kid.
Yeah.
I would just burp, and so like I have this disgusting skill now where I can burp like crazy.
Yeah.
But like now,
Is it just burps or farts too?
I can fart crazy, but for some reason that was okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think the burping just really irritated my dad. And so I just really learned over the years to like burp really loud. And it's funny because when he passed away, I was like, damn, I have no one to like annoy with this with anymore. Everybody's just like impressed by it. My dad was the one. Like I learned it because
I
it
could
made
be
him
that
mad.
person. I could say, you know what, that's fucking gross. No, but that's funny. You normally hear people think that burps are okay and farts are the worst ones. So
yeah, he just didn't like that I did at the table when we would be eating.
Yeah.
And I was like, that whole like in some cultures burping is a compliment to the
There
chef.
you go.
And I would say that he could give a fuck.
You're just worldly.
Yeah, I'm worldly. Not disgusting. I'm worldly.
Yeah. So maybe that's how like machismo impacted you, being the little feminist then at that age. Is you're kind of like, I want to fight back with not being able to talk. I want to fight back with, I want to burp too.
Yeah.
And that's where like maybe
that's how it started, because and it was really just a logic thing. Like it's even like the trans issues that are happening across the nation right now. The logic makes no sense. There's no logic to what they're doing, and that's the shit that really frustrates me.
Yeah.
When I'm like, when I was a kid, was like seeing the holes in the logic. And it's like, and as an adult, that fucking gets under your skin too. It's just that, you kind of don't expect a little kid, a little girl, the youngest of four, to be the one that's like ready to fight back,
Yeah. Do you feel like now learning how to be more assertive because you were trying to deal with not being held down by machismo and letting yourself shine through, how do you feel like that navigates how you live today now?
I mean, I don't know how to not be that way.
Yeah.
And I never knew how to not be that way. I've never not been that way. Like anybody that has known me since I was a kid, like I'm exactly the same person as like, a little mature, a little, grown up version, but I'm very much the same person I was when I was a little girl, and I'm very proud of that because I was proud of who I was as a little kid, and I'm glad that I grew up to be the adult that I always wanted to be.
I feel like sometimes I feel really good that I'm an assertive woman because I'll see people not be assertive and I'm like, damn, like you're missing out, on so many things.
I agree with that. I tell a lot of my friends, like, don't fucking hesitate to speak up. Like, someone takes it personal, that's a red flag, But like, if you're just like setting a boundary or like just speaking up for yourself, like, how is that negative? And if it is, someone perceives it as negative, that's not a person you want to be around.
Yeah, that's a them thing.
Yeah.
So now I feel like we're going the direction of dating because I wanted to ask you this then because I feel as an assertive woman myself, I feel like a lot of people are maybe threatened because it falls outside of the seeming like, you're docile or agreeable. How do you feel like being an assertive woman impacts your dating life?
I mean, the problem with being an assertive woman, it's not even that men don't like it, is that there are men who they want something specific out of their partners, and that aggressiveness, assertiveness, however they look at it, it's not something they desire. So what I have learned in dating is like, as much as I'm a proponent of like, ask the men out, girl, you know, like real feminism, ask him out, take him by the balls, right? I do believe that, and I have done that, but I also know that the reason that doesn't work is because men are visual creatures. They have to be attracted to you. They have to. That's like the first thing. If they're not physically attracted to you, nothing you have is going to be enough for them. That's the fucking facts. And that's sad because, you know, you're a beautiful woman, but some fucking racist guy is going to be like, ugh, but you're dark.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
You guys could have everything in common besides the racism.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, you can have a lot in common with someone, and then they don't like a big butt, right? And like with me, it's like they don't like a small butt.
Yeah.
Like, it's that simple for some guys, like that, where it's like, no, like this is a thing that is important to me, which is everybody is, you know, everybody has their preferences.
Yeah.
And whatever it may be, it's like you can't like convince someone to be attracted to you, and that's what's frustrating about.
Once they get past that, though, once they're like, damn,
if they
like,
can,
like you're,
if
I'm
they
feeling
can.
it. What do you mean if?
Because I've been rejected by guys who are like, I'm completely compatible with them, completely 100% compatible, and then they're just like, I'm just not like physically attracted to you, and I'm like, cool, good. Glad to know that you don't care about a pussy on a woman. You actually care about whatever, boobs or butt or height or whatever, you know, because it's so many things, and you don't even know, you know, what it is that they're not attracted to, or if they tell you, that's always, of course, fucking worse. But you know what I mean? Like, that's what's crazy, is that there are men out there who doesn't matter. You can have everything in common with them. And I'm telling you this from experience. Like, guys, I was like, oh man, me and this full vibe, like, motherfuckers, like, this is cool. Like, this could be like forever. Yeah. And it's like, nah, he just wasn't attracted to me. They were not attracted to me. And it's like, okay, cool. I guess that what I am is not enough. And it's not. And with that, I say, good to know that, you know, because then it's like, you don't want to waste your time with people that you have to convince to fucking like you. Yeah. You know? I also just don't understand the concept that, like, when people are like, I'm straight, then shouldn't you like all versions of women? Shouldn't you like all versions of men if you're straight? Like, why is it that you only want somebody who looked like that whole, like, when Reggie Bush broke up with, or Kim Kardashian was dating Reggie Bush, and then they broke up, and then he went out with someone who looked physically exactly like her. That shit is sad to me. That's so fucking sad. Like, it has to be, you know, an hourglass
box
figure
that you fit into.
Yeah, and that's
because
it.
They think this is what represents like status, like this, whatever their concept of this is the thing I should try to attain. If you fall outside of that in any way, which I do, and I have my own insecurities too, and then it's like, oh well, you fall outside of that box, so I don't. And it's like, but what if outside of the box makes you feel these amazing things?
Exactly. And that's what's sad, is that people are depriving themselves of love. I actually got really sad last night because I was like crying because I was like, it really bums me out that a lot of people had to see me with my partner right now to be like, oh, I had a chance with her. Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems like I lost out on a lot of guys treating me pretty well, because I got treated pretty badly for a very long time. And it just makes me sad to think, like, damn, you didn't think you had a chance with me? Like, you're a cool dude, bro. Like, what the fuck? That's fucking sad that you didn't think that you had a chance with me. That's the type of shit that makes me sad now.
That shit makes me sad too right now. Just like hearing you say that, because, you know, they did miss out.
They did.
And
they continue to,
wonderful.
Because I also feel like there's guys that they're not you know, going out of their league. There's no such thing as a league, you know. Maybe there's different tax brackets, but there's no such thing.
Whatever, we're all gonna be old and disgusting.
Yeah,
Everybody
exactly.
needs to shut the fuck up.
Exactly. But that makes me sad that people like don't go for who they really are attracted to, or who they think they could make happy. You know,
and
it's
then they
like,
realize those mistakes later.
It's so sad to me. It's so sad to me.
But I'm so happy that you're
I
with
know,
someone
me
that makes
too.
you feel really good. I didn't know that you're in a relationship. So tell me, I know on social media, you know, sometimes, you know, it's difficult navigating posting about your personal life and then also as a comic. So tell me, I guess now, so I'm expecting that he appreciates your assertiveness.
Absolutely. He absolutely does.
He's not trying to, you know, dim your shine in that way, and like is okay with you taking up space in that way.
I sent him a clip from,
because you take up space.
I take up a lot of space, physically, figuratively, literally, all the things. Excuse me, but last night I sent him a clip, like a short at my I recorded my set, and there was like a bunch of like funny ass little clips. So I sent him like a 9-minute snippet just to like send to him, because I was like, he'd probably enjoy this crowd work that I did, that I'm not gonna post, but it would be fun to send to him. And he was like, oh my God, I just watched this 4 times in a row because it was so fun. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. I appreciate you enjoying what I do. Like, I've never had that. I've never been with somebody who just is like into all of what I do. And that's really nice. And I am into everything that he does. And that's fucking awesome. You know, and to have an artistic partner is really, really cool. But yeah, like he's like 5'7", I'm 6'2". Like,
okay,
it's fun, girl. We have a good time.
Wow, so progressive.
Yeah,
I'm really feeling like both of you are disrupting gender norms. You being taller, him being shorter, you being an assertive woman, him being okay with that, which is like the top level of whatever masculinity is. For me, masculinity is that confidence, that security, and that being able to elevate your partner, especially if your partner is a woman. And a lot of times in society, women aren't. So I feel like that's really great that you have that.
Yeah, it's really nice. And he's also pansexual. And I feel like that is a big part of what makes it work. Yeah. Because he's just so open-minded. Yeah. And it's been nice. And because it's like, you know what's funny about that is that when I tell people, like my closest friends, when I first told them, a lot of them were like, I never pictured you with somebody pansexual. And I was like a lot of my friends, and I was like, do I really come off as that homophobic that I'm just like wouldn't even consider it? Like, that's where you guys think about me? Like,
maybe they just think your femininity just exudes like super femme, and they expect like maybe, I guess, super macho on the other hand.
Yeah, maybe. You know what? I didn't think about it that way. You're right. That's probably what it is.
That's how binary people can be.
I know.
You're a galaxy, okay?
Binary people are so fucking single-minded.
Yeah, your sexuality is a galaxy.
Okay.
No, but tell me, so just so people know listening, explain to me, I guess, define to me pansexuality, or at least the way your partner embodies it.
Pansexuality is essentially like you are attracted to everyone. Everyone. It doesn't matter how they identify. Which I identify with, in the sense, like what I just said, when people say they're straight, shouldn't you be attracted to every version of what straight is? Yeah. And I am. I have dated every physical type. I just like men. I like dick. Like that. I love it, you know? Yeah. And so for me,
pan is everything then. Just every pan is everyone.
Pan is everyone, basically.
Cis, straight, trans, non-binary, intersex.
Yeah.
Anybody can be included.
And when you have a partner like that basically, like, all that tells me is like, oh yeah, you understand femininity and masculinity in its fullest form, and you enjoy it and you respect it,
and you can maybe play with it also in
absolutely
ways.
And it's really fun. Like I started like buying like fun pants because he likes to wear skirts. Yeah. And I started buying more fun pants because I was like, I want to wear fun pants when you wear your fucking cool ass skirts, you know. And yeah, so I guess it's like, for me, it's funny too for like people to like find out like just how progressive I actually am. I don't know what the fuck vibe I was putting off. I really don't know. But that's been like the maybe I should write a joke about that, because it's kind of funny to think about, like, everybody was like, you. And what's even more funny is many years ago, my friend Sandy remembers this. Many, many years ago, when I was like really frustrated with dating, I remember telling my friend Sandy and a few other friends, like, man, I just need to find a guy that's a little gay. Just a little gay. Yeah. Because gay men love me. They love me to death. They love me to pieces. And I was like, I just need to find a guy that's a little gay. That's all. Just a little bit. And I found him.
There you go.
It's perfect.
That's awesome.
But I'm just like, guys, first of all, they're everywhere. And some of them are hiding it because they're, you know, being a man and being gay is so frowned upon that men don't even feel safe, like, dabbling. And, you know, because there's always that running gag of like how straight men don't like a finger in the butt. But it's like, no, they do. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I wish more men just in general would just tap into who they really are, masculine, feminine, whatever it is. Like, just tap into it more, you know, and then you'll find your partner that you should be with much, much sooner, when you really tap into who you really are.
What do you feel like? I feel like if a lot of men may want to embrace that sexuality more, and we just don't know it because of maybe stigmatizations in society. What do you feel like is something, like, if a woman was listening right now that's like, I don't know if I could do that, maybe because dating someone that's pansexual, they may feel threatened because maybe they or insecure or whatever. What would be a piece of advice that could help someone adjust to that openness?
I mean, I get sad that people are so people. You can take a person who's like, we have to fight for trans rights, we have to fight for gay rights, we have to fight for this, but like when it comes to their own personal choices, they have such a hard time grasping the possibilities, because people are so homophobic, and it just bums me out that people are like people have a hard time dating, but they don't consider expanding their dating pool. Do you know what I mean? But and also you have to know your own boundaries. Like even I dated this guy who I'm not really sure how he identified fully, because I think he was a little like scared to be open about it. But one time the first time we were fucking, he like when he orgasmed, he went up really high. He was like ah, and I was like, okay, I'm not homophobic, but I can't fuck a guy who sounds higher pitched than I do.
Yeah.
Like, that was my boundary.
Like, I wasn't used to that. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
It made me laugh. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm a little homophobic. Because I was like, I couldn't take it serious. Like, I just.
Have you ever
couldn't.
wanted to. Like,
I mean, I love
What about when you come? What if you took it down a notch, way lower than it though? Because sometimes I don't know. Next time,
I mean,
girl.
you have a nice raspy voice. I feel like you could really do it.
I be pushing them back.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you fucking like that pussy, don't you? You fucking piece of shit. Yeah, men love that shit.
So earlier we were talking, I wanted to actually ask you when we're talking about like asking a dude out or like being assertive. Okay, so in the context that you're on a date, you're vibing, it's the first date, he's being a little shy. You really want to kiss him before the end of the date. What's the move?
Give him tequila. Let's start taking tequila shots. Let's do some shots. Let's fucking do shots. And I start rubbing on the leg. I start rubbing on the leg.
Okay.
Yeah, I love rubbing on the leg. That's when you get a response to that, you're like, all right, it's on.
Okay.
Yeah. A little rub on the leg goes a very long way.
Really? You feel like it's on? Sometimes I've rubbed on the leg and it's still like, they're still too shy. They're still too shy.
I'm probably not going to make a move then.
Oh, okay.
Because again, we got to talk about consent. Yeah. And we got to talk about like, I need a guy to be attracted to me as I am to him. Like I've now learned that. Like you can make the move as much as you want, but you also can't force yourself onto someone who is not vibing with you. You know,
Yeah.
You can't. It's not going to work.
Let's talk about sexual vibe then. Okay. Being a tall lady. Tell me a time where someone's really navigated the map of your body really well. Because I'm sure you face some obstacles maybe.
I do. I mean, it's always nice when a short guy like is down, you know. I hate when
is down for what, like on his knees eating your pussy while you're standing up?
whatever he's down for, like but enjoying it. Yeah. I think the problem with short guys has been that if they've never been with a tall woman, they think it's going to go exactly how it goes with the other women that they've been with before. And I'm like, no, we do. Like, we are physically different. We do have to physically do some things a little different.
Tell me. Give me an example.
Well, I had a guy once tried to, like, he wanted us to fuck while we were standing up. Okay. And I was like, that's physically impossible. And I'm super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, like, I think he was, like, from behind or something. Like, it was awkward.
Yeah,
and I was like, what are we doing? And he just kept slipping out because it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
Well, how tall was he? Because this matters just because of height and bending.
I want to say, like, 5'7", 5'8", maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty short.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ambitious.
Very ambitious.
Okay. Yeah. You like ambitious men.
Yeah. I mean, confident, ugly men are very ambitious. That's how it goes.
They got money too.
Well, not always, but they're always rich in confidence.
That's good. Okay, so not doing it standing, and what move has worked? What's somewhere where you're like, wow, he really came with it?
I mean, with short guys, it's like, I mean, unfortunately, with short guys, sometimes the most comfortable position is missionary. Yeah. Just because we line up, it's perfect.
Okay, yeah.
Because if we do other stuff, it gets a little tricky. Yeah. So it's always nice when dudes are like comfortable with that, you know, cool with that. Yeah. Because I've been in situations where guys are like, on the first time, they're like, let me flip you over on the couch and do all, and I'm just like, what? Like, I'm longer than your couch. This makes no sense, dude. I just remember one time a dude tried to like, I think because I'm tall, people think I'm like super flexible. And this guy thought I could do the splits. He just started like doing, and I was just like, "What do you do? I don't even stretch, bro. Like, this is awkward. This is weird."
He's trying to Gumby you.
Yeah, it was so awkward and weird. I hated it. Yeah, that dude was all bad.
I like that you say you date all kinds of men, though, you know, because, you know, you like dick and whoever is attached to it.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see what dudes are packing.
Yeah.
Because also, once you see the dick, their confidence usually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've had guys that are like, I'm shy, like what you were doing. Oh, I'm shy. I'm not going to make it.
I always think they have a small dick. They have small dick. I tried that move once. He didn't even let me like we were like in the car hanging out, and I was like reaching over, and he wouldn't, and I was like, he's probably got a small dick. He doesn't want me to feel it. He wants to try to make me fall in love in the first 3 dates with this little unhidden dick.
Yes. And look, we're not dick size shaming. I just, as a tall woman, I have a lot of space to fill. So I am a size queen, but it's because I am a queen of size. Okay.
There you go.
I'm
a size queen, just the opposite. I prefer them really small. I'm a tiny lady.
I mean, yeah, you got a tiny pussy. You don't want to get torn up into pieces. Wait, what was I gonna say? About tiny dicks. It was about dicks. When guys are tiny, I just wished guys with smaller dicks just knew how to work it. Mm-hmm. Because if you have a small dick and you don't know like what positions work best for you, mm-hmm. and you know what you like, how you know you're gonna shine. Yeah. That always bums me out because it's like, bro, I'm not gonna.
What's an optimal position for a small dick man?
I couldn't tell you. I've never experienced it. I've just had bad experiences. So don't do doggy styles, fella. If you have a small dick, don't do doggy style. You're gonna slip out and slip out and slip out. Yeah. You gotta know how to work it though. I'm convinced that if you know how to work it, just like with anything, just like me, you know, like I don't have all the parts that every guy wants, you know, but I know how to work it. I know how to work with what I have. Yeah. Shit, you know? Yeah. Gotta work it.
You dating lots of different types of men, I feel like was really progressive. You mentioned it in your set, how you were like, you know, I don't care what kind of man, fat, thin. And I feel like I like that progressive way of thinking to open the door to dating to all types of men. Do you feel like any physical hurdles or medical hurdles in your life influenced you having acceptance of all different types of men?
I mean, being like obscenely tall has mm-hmm. made me just I stick out anywhere I go. And like what I don't like is when like tall men assume I want to fuck them. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, we're both tall. We're both going to do it, right? We're the tallest. And it's like, no, bro, that's not how my brain works. But I also think a lot of women just fuck tall dudes. Like they throw themselves at tall men.
It's crazy.
I am super against that. My brothers are both tall. They're both pieces of shit and they've treated women bad over the years. So I'm like, don't just throw yourselves at tall men. Make them work for it.
Yeah,
I like don't even have big dicks. That's the worst thing to find out.
All that height is right here.
It's a waste.
I like them a little. I like them a little short. You know, a little insecure. You know, makes them easier to. No, I'm just playing.
That's funny.
If you could be any appliance in the kitchen, what appliance would you be and why?
Oh my God. Oh, probably a microwave.
Okay.
I love a microwave.
Okay. Why a microwave?
I love that they are, they're not the best option. Yeah. But not to say that I'm not the best option, but I just like what they do and how helpful they are to so many people. Yeah. And how helpful they are to lower income people, you know, and how they're accessible to everyone and that you can do a lot with a microwave.
Damn, you're getting all deep. You're bringing in socioeconomic classes up in this.
I mean, I love a microwave. I hate when people like shit on microwaves. Yeah. I'm like, man, that's some people's only option to get their meal warm.
Right. We're fighting systemic issues. Everybody needs a microwave.
Honestly, I really think that, you know, if people need a microwave, don't fucking look down on them. Microwaves are dope. They're helpful. Everybody uses them. You could also instead of making a new cup of coffee, you warm it up in the microwave. Like
every hotel room's got a microwave.
You know what I mean? Because they're so easy to use. Yeah. And it's like a kid's first kitchen lesson is using the microwave. Like I just love microwaves. I think that they're great. You know, I also, you know, if you actually know how to use them well, like your food doesn't get all dried up. You know, you put the wet towel, the damn towel
cover it, moisture.
It. Yeah. You can really, you know.
What's the strategy for a tamale in the microwave? If you can't steam anything right now, you know,
you just have to make sure it's wrapped in the in something damp. Yeah, paper towel, damp paper towel.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
What's my favorite thing to cook?
Because I know I see you in the past. You've posted things with your family, cooking.
Yeah.
Food seems to have been like
It's a big part of my life. I love food. I think cabbage rolls, like stuffed cabbage rolls, just with like beef and rice and tomatoes and onions and salt and pepper. And
are you allergic to any foods?
Dairy. I'm allergic to dairy.
Oh, so you're like lactose intolerant? Is
yeah,
that
and it sucks, but like I can't do
Is it like
milks.
gassy, or does your ass just go
well
crazy?
it depends on the type of dairy I'm consuming. Like if I have cheese, like my stomach might not process it well, but it'll be fine. My skin gets really bad. I get cystic acne. But like I can't drink milk. There's no way. I will shit myself in 5 minutes. I'll shit myself all day. So I just can't do milk.
I didn't know dairy like could add to a flare of cystic acne. My friends had cystic acne growing up in high school. It was really hard.
Yeah,
like
it sucks.
Tell me, so what was your experience dealing with cystic acne?
I mean, it just sucks, but I love dairy, so I didn't make the connection until I was much older. I was in my mid-20s. But then it was like once I stopped eating dairy, I was like, oh, my skin is actually very good, because I think I for the longest time was like, I have horrible skin, but it was really just like, you're eating dairy and sugar, like the worst two things you could have on your skin, And I have this CBD oil serum from Flora and Bast.
Okay,
that is amazing. It's great for blemishes. Lady Popovich put me onto that, and I don't know if you know this, but like weed really helps with your skin.
Does it? I didn't know.
Really
I was like, oh my god, are my pores absorbing smoke or something?
No, it's super, like the flower, what you smoke, like I've noticed if I eat dairy and I smoke weed at the same time, I will not get the cystic acne. I don't know what the fuck it does. It's not an edibles thing. It's a flower thing. It's flower.
I didn't know that.
It's wild. It makes a huge difference. And I'm not a doctor, and don't take my word. You have to experiment for yourself.
Smoke weed. If milk does any shit to your stomach, smoke the weed. It'll make it better.
Weed. I don't know how it fucking works, but I'm like, it's natural. It's a medicine.
Yeah.
Everybody has different, uses for it. So that's mine.
I want to know about right now. And I'm in my 30s. Dating now. I know you're dating someone, and I hope that you're happy throughout whatever process it may be. But I guess questioning not falling into the typical, we're married, we have kids.
Sure.
What does it feel like being a woman in your 30s, not falling into the typical expected things that we're taught to like glorify?
I mean, it's been nice for me because I spent all of my 20s and my early 30s telling everybody, like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not having kids. I'm not having kids, guys. It's
you knew at a young age then.
I knew at 19.
What made you like...
My nephew was born, and I had to watch him a lot. And it was wonderful. It was a very fulfilling experience. But I was like, I don't want to do this ever the fuck again. Like, I will help with the kids forever. And I'm very involved in all my 8 nieces and nephews' lives. But like, that doesn't interest me. I'm a light sleeper.
Yeah.
I have a chaotic life. Like, it does not interest me at all.
And I think that happens a lot with like black and brown and Indian Latina cultures. It's like when you have to care for like kids that aren't yours, it's like this kind of adultification happens.
Absolutely.
Where you're expected to grow up so quickly. And so I can understand why now you're like, man, I've been doing that.
Yeah. But I will also say, like, it's good. We also need to like make space for these tias and these deals that are just, they're going to be the babysitters, and they're going to want to kick in. They're going to maybe talk to your kids about shit that you don't want to talk about with them.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why that's not important to people, but it should be, because community is really how you raise children, you know? And my siblings have all like really appreciated that I've been available. And that, like, if I need to go, I'll like go spoil the kids. I mean, it's that classic thing where like I spoil them and then you return them,
Yeah.
And it's great. It's very fulfilling. I love that shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I recommend just being involved in kids' lives. Like I also know that so many children need cool adults in their lives.
Yeah.
And to be that is wonderful. That's so fulfilling. I love it. It's sufficient. I don't understand why people don't want to do that.
Shanti auntie.
Shanti auntie.
For life. Like, who knows? But I also feel that, like, I think I can just be a cool adult in people's lives and positive be in their life, and maybe sometimes talk about things that they don't feel comfortable with their parents, but always respecting boundaries and whatever, like never trying to guide them the wrong way. But I think that's important. And I like what you say about community. Like, that is important. And I feel like, we elevate just that I got married and I have kids. And if you don't have those things, those other parts aren't elevated as much
Right.
sometimes,
Yeah,
which we should.
Yeah, absolutely. And I even when I was a kid, I wanted to have kids when I was a kid. Like I straight up until my nephew was born when I was 19. That was when I realized like I don't want this. But when I was a kid, I wanted a kid. But I was also so thankful that my mom, her best friend, is childless. And she was one of the most, I mean, I just admired her so much as a kid. I just loved how like fashionable she was. She was always trendy, and she would always like make my mom kind of loosen up. And like, there's something beautiful in that, to see those women relationships as a little girl. To be like, man, she's like so cool, and she has such a cool life, and like I don't understand it, but like it's cool. I like it. You know, she kind of lives a free spirit. Like a lot of little girls need to see free spirits in the world, men, women, non-binary, whatever, because like every little kid needs that. Every kid, especially girls, but every kid for sure. But I think little girls need to see women that are just doing their own damn thing, dressing all funky and talking funky, and we're not allowed to talk like that. You know, like that's fun for little kids. Like my nephew, one of my nephews was like, he came and I said something like, "That's stupid," and he was like, "You can't say that. That's a bad word." And I was like, "You mean I can't say that? It's fucking stupid?" And he was all, "Ooh." And I was like, he's gonna remember that forever. And good, it's so stupid, like you know, policing words and shit. But like, you know, I understand why they do that. But it's just like fun to like give them a little kick, a little spice that they're not expecting from someone they're not expecting it from. You know,
it is, and I think it's important for them to see that so they don't grow up to be generic
exactly
people. And like people can be happy and loved and not alone if you don't have kids.
Yeah.
Like you can still have that community, and I think that's important for people to see, so we don't all feel sad when you're not married, when you're not in a relationship, and then everyone's all sad at Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, I'm single and I'm not married,
and
and now I'm 30.
What's interesting too, like Valentine's Day specifically, my dad, like we loved Valentine's Day. Like I have no bad associations with it. I've never been sad that I was alone on Valentine's Day. I was totally fine with it, even though I was always alone on Valentine's Day. But because my dad, he like when we were kids would just come home, buy us all chocolate. Like me, my mom, my sister get like boxes of chocolates, and you know, school always made Valentine's Day fun. And I'm so thankful that I wasn't raised by parents who were like, you know, like that mentality of like you have to. I mean, they wanted me to, but they also were like that classic of like, well, I mean, if she doesn't want to be married and have kids, like that's probably good. That's okay. You know, it's not the worst possible thing.
That's good though. That's good that, because I never gave a shit about Valentine's and feeling bad I was single, but I always hated it because it's just about money.
Sure,
I always feel like I'm like, fuck all this. So what? White people that own companies can make money off this bullshit fucking balloon that we're getting right now.
I just love candy. So like I love Valentine's Day. I love all the candy.
I'm like, buy me that candy.
I love candy. So I love any holiday that is like has their own special candy, like the conversation hearts. I love conversation hearts.
Oh,
I love them. They're tasty. The white ones. I love mint.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I actually miss Valentine's in school. I remember us giving those little cards out. It was so cute. Sometimes you wrote like actual like specialized one.
Yeah.
And it made people feel special. Yeah. We don't really do that anymore.
Yeah. You don't really do that anymore, Shanti.
I know. I don't.
There
really
are
send
adults
Valentines
who give Valentines to their friends.
I should do that more. I do give good, thoughtful Christmas cards.
That's great
because I'm a broke lady and I don't
but
spend
that's
money.
Good though.
I'll be like, I remember this one time where blah blah blah
that's
blah.
Sweet.
And remember blah blah. That was a fun time.
So imagine if you did that for your single friends, not just the women, but you know, like your palantines. You know, not just your galentines, but your palantines. Like I like all that shit.
Write more love notes.
You should. It's good for you. It's good for you. It's good for your spirit.
Okay, before you leave, send me your address. I'm gonna write you a love note. Don't say it on camera right now, but before we leave, I guess I want to open the door to asking this, because I ask everybody at the end of our episode, how can, and it's not just romantically, how can someone love you better, from romantic to your siblings to me to anybody? How can people love you?
Do you mean
better?
Generic, or do you mean me specifically?
You specifically.
I've always been happy with people who embrace me as I am, and they don't take shit personal. Like I sometimes have to call my friends if we're going to work together, and I'll be like, listen, you can't take how I'm going to talk when I'm working personal. Because when I'm in work mode, like I'm just in work mode. Like it's not even about feelings or, you know, any of that shit. It's like I express myself because I know what I want, and I hope that you will also express yourself in hopes that you know what you want. But if you don't, like, don't fucking get all pissed at me because I know exactly what I want, you know?
How do you handle that when they are like a more sensitive person and they're just like, well, how do you handle?
Hopefully we can work through it. You know, like communication is always key. I'm a big communicator. I over communicate.
I love over communicating.
Yeah.
I rather over than under.
Absolutely. And but I've definitely learned that a lot of people are liars and they don't say what they really want to say. They don't speak up for themselves. And I wish that everyone loved themselves more so they can love everyone around them better, because that's really what it boils down to. Because I have certainly learned that people who love themselves are usually my best friends. Like, if you are good at treating yourself well, then we're never going to have a problem. We might have a problem here and there, but it's usually superficial, surface type shit. Yeah. But like, if you don't love yourself, man, you cannot expect yourself to love other people. It's very much that RuPaul quote, you know? Yeah. And, but I fully believe it in the sense that, like, if you don't set your own boundaries, if you don't communicate what you need, if you don't, you know, put yourself first, but also like look out for your people, like you will never, ever achieve the relationships that you desire. Never. Because I've been setting boundaries since I was a kid. I've always set boundaries. I was big on boundaries, and I like, even like little shit like, you know, when Are You Afraid of the Dark would come on at night. Yeah. I would get tired and go to sleep, and it was like a coincidence, and my siblings would always point it out, and they would try to make fun of me. They would try to make me feel bad, but I was like, when I watch the show, I get nightmares, and I don't want to have nightmares. I'll have a hard time sleeping, and I put myself first. I was like, you guys can make fun of me all you want. I do not give a shit. Like, I need to get my rest. I need to get my beauty rest as an 8-year-old. And so I don't know how to teach women to have boundaries. I really don't. I just have always had them, and I love them so much. And I just wish everybody could set their own boundaries, because it would just make shit a lot easier, you know. And that people respect other people's boundaries, because it's not just setting boundaries, it's you know, everyone respecting each other's boundaries. I think that's the thing too, is understanding just how to respect people's boundaries, because that is where problems arise then. Absolutely. It's like when you're overstepping that, and it's like, fuck. Yeah, exactly. I do encourage everyone to say no, while understanding that you will receive backlash. You will have people upset with you. You have to get comfortable with that shit. Like, you really fucking do. And if people can't respect those boundaries, they shouldn't be in your life. Exactly. It's like, this is my boundary. If you're my friend, you'll respect that. If you're a person in my life, you'll respect that. And if you don't, then I guess that shows that you're like not really my friend. Yeah, exactly. I need this boundary for me to be chill, be cool. Yeah. I have a meditation album out, and one of the tracks is like me saying no in different ways. No, absolutely not. Never. I didn't great. I didn't know you have a meditation album. That's my boyfriend produced it. My novio produced it. And that's he mixed great. It, and it's great. I love it. I recommend it to anyone who needs a little kick in the butt. And has a little humor to it, you know? Yeah. So it's great. Laughter is medicine, and medicine is medicine. So it's perfect. Yeah. I'm really glad that you came. Any last say before we get out of here, please say the name of your meditation album. Say the name of your HBO album, or your new HBO special that just dropped, and anything else you want to drop. Yeah, so I have my HBO Max special, Bitch Grow Up. Please watch that. It's really fucking funny. It is. I have my meditation album. It's called Motivational Monday Meditations by Marcella Arguello. Just all M's across the board. Yeah. It's just 5 tracks. It's a really easy listen, but it's also like a very good therapeutic listen. And then my first album, The Woke Bully, is still out. Download that. It's not on streaming because of all the lawsuits going on with the comedy and the live streaming shit. But anyways, check that out. And what's your IG? I'm at Marcella Comedy across the board. My website, all my social media, Marcella Comedy. So find me, follow me. Thank you so much for having me, Shanti. Thank you so much for doing the show. I'm so glad you're here and that you did it. And like right after your special came out,